Greetings, Hornet Nation. My name is Michelle, but you can call me Amerson. I'm here with Miss Chandler Brown. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're glad that you're here, and we're glad that we're interviewing you today. Well, I had a couple of questions for you, and just want to chop it up with you, and let's go. Well, one of the things is I heard that you came back from Brazil, and I want to know what truly inspired you to study abroad in Brazil, and why did you choose that particular program?
Yeah, so thanks for the question. I've always been interested in the African diaspora, right? So we all came from the same place, we all have the same ancestors, but we just got dropped off at different places. And so Brazil has always been a fascination of mine, but of course when you look at the beauty of the country and everything, but when I got older and I came to college and I realized my passion for life, I took a deeper look at it and saw the connectedness between all of it. And so there was a partnership between Vanderbilt University and Tuskegee University, and it's under the Title VI of their CLACS department. So Vanderbilt University awarded Tuskegee, which is the only HBCU in the cohort, $1.7 million to carry out, to one, have curriculum advancement, but also have study abroad trips to connect the Latin, Caribbean, and American experience in African diaspora. So my research professor in the psych department, he found a flyer for it. I reached out to the email on there, and they were like, hey, we're actually having a Brazilian festival this Friday. I went up to Tuskegee in about late October, met some people, got enrolled in Portuguese class, and found out about this study abroad trip. So I said,
okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a strange question. So I noticed that you said you got enrolled in Portuguese class.
Yes.
So would that be different from Spanish?
So I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, but they're very similar to each other. Yeah. I actually took Portuguese 101 at University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth this past summer, and I wanted to continue. More so, I wanted an in-person course of Portuguese just so it could be more interactive. And so I found Portuguese 102 at Tuskegee, and I've also been studying on the side. So.
Well, I mean, this is off topic, but on topic. I'm just curious, how many languages are you fluent in?
Fluent, I'll say only English, truly fluent. If I'm just talking about speed and everything, but I'm more proficient in Portuguese than I am in Spanish. And also this experience kind of improved it, so yeah. But I would say I speak 3 languages, I can understand.
Oh, wow. Well, that's still, to be able to speak more than just English is still just amazing. So, I mean, I'm really proud of you and on your journey. I know that you mentioned earlier about the disparities in the medical field, and I wanted to know, how do you feel these issues as an adolescent will affect the children there? And do you feel like child psychiatry is a big thing there? Is that something that you're studying?
Yeah, so I recently applied to Fulbright, and so Fulbright is a federal grant where they award, the participants money to go abroad either on a teaching scholarship or either a research scholarship. And so with Fulbright, I wanted to look at the role of colorism and socioeconomic status on the occupational success of Afro-Brazilians. And so specifically where I went in Brazil, Salvador Bahia, a fun fact about it, it has the largest African population and people of African descent outside of the continent of Africa. So more people of African descent there than even all the African Americans in the U.S. And so, but the contradicting thing with that is that they're the least employed. And so the Afro-Brazilians there in Salvador, but it's like, how is that if they take over a majority of the population? But when you're talking about occupations such as the medical field and political fields, they're a very low percentage in identifying as Afro-Brazilians in those positions. And so when I was there, we actually had a presentation at the Federal University of Bahia where we learned that colorism is a huge stigma there when we talk about fair skin or the more Portuguese-looking Brazilians rather than the African-looking ones or more dark skin. And there's a lot of disparities when you, especially in the medical field, which is my particular interest. But I saw where they have the need for it there. They had a presentation where they had data and percentages. So when we're looking at African American women, especially, they only make up 1% of the psychiatrists and doctors there in Bahia.
1%?
Yes, ma'am. And so that goes for all age groups, even child all the way to adult.
Oh wow, that's some really the statistics on that is like wow, that's a lot. So how do you feel as far as with the statistic that you just told us? How do you feel your involvement will help that culture?
Yes. So a lot of times, especially here in the U.S., so Brazil is a third world country. So a lot of times, even when you look at maybe the fully Portuguese or of Portuguese descent people, they do have opportunities, but even still less than I would myself here as African American. And so just with me being educated how I am, my parents have provided me with the experiences to kind of see different parts of the world and be able to connect it to my life as well, or my experiences. And so I know that my education and kind of just my support system is really going to be able to help me drive for my passion.
Okay.
Kind of how I said before I went to Brazil, I knew what I wanted to do and what I was passionate about, but kind of putting my feet on the ground there really kind of confirmed it for me. So I'm like, I know that even though I have this passion, I also have the degree and I also have the paperwork to show that I'm qualified in order to be able to do this work to the best quality.
Well, I do believe that you will make a difference there, and I'm glad that that you are a beautiful Black woman that's going over there to represent the women here in the United States abroad. And I think it's just going to be an amazing experience for you, and it's going to be a great opportunity for the people to have you there as their doctor. Now, I want to ask you a question. A lot of students would love this opportunity to go abroad, right? Yeah. Especially students at HBCUs, and I noticed that you mentioned Tuskegee earlier. How would our students find out about it, and why is this opportunity so important?
Yeah, so ASU has a mission statement where they mention global change agents. And so when I made a pitch presentation that I wanted to show to the alumni department as well as the provost office, and I also showed it to the Bantam State Society. So I had a lot of meetings that week, but I kind of saw where ASU is growing, right? We have a lot of talent here, we have a lot of intelligent students, but I feel like we can do better broadcasting it in a way, not only just here in the US. I mean, when we're talking about especially African American humanities studies or things such as that, that can spread into other parts of the world. And so kind of when I saw that Tuskegee was the first stop for Vanderbilt in terms of HBCUs and funding them, I saw, hey, like, why not be a global change agent as my university, encourages us to be. And once, I go there, I really put my feet on the ground and I get to speak to the programs that we were, partnering with there in Brazil as well. I really advocated for Alabama State University and said, hey, like, I know a lot more students that are coming just like me, just as passionate, and that can really make a change here. And so even, speaking with you guys, I really want to show ASU students that it's not hard, and that if you rely on people that you've seen do it before, don't not envy it in a way, but more so we all want to share
embrace it.
Right.
Right.
It.
Absolutely.
Really go up to them and ask a question.
Absolutely.
I have some people in my classes, they heard me, speaking to my professors that week before just about my work. They were like, oh, you're going abroad. Like, I've always wanted to go to abroad. Like, I know one of my class said she wanted to go to Japan. So I was just kind of telling her the process I had to go through. But even though it's kind of tedious right now, I know that once we get more students out there, that maybe we can foster a stronger study abroad department here at Alabama State University as well.
Well, I like that you said that, and you're right. I think as Hornets, and I'm a Hornet myself, we sometimes get afraid or become afraid, and we don't want to ask those questions like, hey, how did you do it? And a lot of people call it gatekeeping. Yeah. We feel like a lot of people are going to keep the gate closed, so the opportunity in our heads will stay closed because we're not open-minded to share. And I hope here at Alabama State, our Hornets become more open-minded and embrace the opportunities that's available and afforded to them. Yeah. So I do want to tell you, I am so glad that you came out today to interview with me. And moving forward in 3 words, and if you can't find 3 words, you can use 4. What words would you have to give to inspire our Hornets here at Hornet Nation?
Well, so you said I didn't have to say 3, right?
It's just 4.
So, okay. I actually have 2. I'm sorry if I go under the limit. But,
absolutely.
Even my home screen, but optimism and resilience. So you never know. It may look difficult right now, but you never know if you keep a positive mindset. You never know what could happen tomorrow or in the next hour. And just to stay determined through that, so resilience, going back through that, just staying strong and really, you're going to have things that come up, but really focusing on your goal and knowing that's what you want to do, and kind of knowing how it will help the community rather than just yourself. So optimism and resilience is the
I love that. And something else that you said moving forward, I want all of our Hornets to know that every no that you get, it's just setting you up for the yes so you can be prepared to open up that door. Well, everything sounded great. It was amazing. Again, thank you so much for interviewing with me today. Well, one of the things I want to tell my Hornets, I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for watching us today. And don't forget to follow us on all social media. And like always, stay buzzing, Hornets.